Good morning. God, apologies. Good morning. Good morning. Look, I've gone blurry. The only reason I've done that is because I wonder if I can do it whilst I'm live. Check this out. If I, that's a really boring background, just really boring. So I've done that. Blurry. Good morning, everyone. Morning, Gemma Perry. Morning, Della Nixon. Morning, if you're listening on podcast. Obviously, Nads is on Parliament Square, Parliament Green, with her dear friend Hannah, giving us some moral support. As Hannah talks to Lorraine. We've got a live report from Parliament Square. Well, we haven't got a live report. No, it's like it's live. So I've got a little update from Nads, which I'm going to play in a second. But good morning, everyone. Thanks for all your comments yesterday. Thank you for all of your messages to Nadia, to Hannah. Me and Michelle have seen them all coming through, and we've been sharing those messages. Again, it's an ongoing set of circumstances. So before we plow on with the rest of the news, let's just pop Nads up, shall we? Let's do this.
Morning, guys. Look where I am. Oh, now you see we've got the age-old problem. We've got the sun there, but we've got Big Ben there, Mark. What do you want, my face or Big Ben? Let's have my face as I'm talking to you. So hello everybody, missed you on Coffee Moaning yesterday and of course again today. So I was with Hannah yesterday at the hospital because Hannah is now on this trial, which means she's getting Enhertu, but she's also had to agree to take a second drug that just yesterday the doctor said to her he has no idea whether it will be beneficial or detrimental to her health. So a real deal with the devil she had to do to get that drug. So I'm just here waiting for her. Bless her, she got 2 hours sleep yesterday because she had the drug infusion. She was at we were at the hospital all day till I left at 7 and she was still there receiving the drugs. And then of course whenever you get cancer drugs they have to give you steroids so that, sorry there's a man there with a huge dog, I'm a bit scared, so that you're not too sick and all of this. So consequently she only had 2 hours sleep. So then she was in the car at 7:30 this morning. She's doing the Lorraine crew are just over there. She's doing Lorraine at 9:10. No, 9:20. And then we're going to go to a hotel and work on her speech because she's then going into there where all the key players, AstraZeneca, NHS England, NICE, and Daiichi Sankyo, which are, I think they actually produce the drug, plus MPs and other cancer patients will be in there. It's a Q&A, and then Hannah stands up and tells her story, and she has exactly 5 minutes to get across how fucking important this is, because there are 1,000, I think, don't quote me on that, I think 1,000 women with secondary breast cancer who desperately need this drug. So the petition is still going, and it does make a difference, because when we were in with Penny Mordaunt, look at me name dropping, a few weeks ago, she raised one eyebrow when we said how many, and so many of that was my followers and subscribers, so thank you. She did raise one eyebrow when she was told how quickly the petition had grown. So, oh God, guys, it's such a huge day. I feel a bit emotional. You know what I'm like, I well up and then I don't cry. I feel emotional because I know how tired she is and how brave she is and how important this is. So it's a really big day. But I will see you tomorrow for Coffee Moaning, and my hair looks weird, and please sign the petition. Love you all. See you soon.
Oh, bless her. She does. She wells up but doesn't cry. It makes you wonder where those tears go to. So we're going to pop the link underneath this live again. I don't know, Michelle, if you're in the room at the moment, maybe you could pop the link to the petition underneath right now. A really important day, a really important meeting later today. It's going to be a curious situation because, of course, I was sort of asking Nads about it late last night. You know, in terms of these pharmaceutical companies and NHS England, it's going to be very hard for them, isn't it, to sit in front of those women, Hannah being one of them, whose lives could be prolonged, the quality of their lives improved, their prospects transformed, and of course, the ripple effect of a prolonged, transformed life for Hannah is the transformed life for her family, for her child, for her friends. So this I think if one of the arguments is that there aren't as many people for who would benefit from this making this drug freely available. It's not just the person, is it? It's all the other people around them, and then it's the entire support network surrounding all those other people that are going to be either left behind or are going to be having to support Hannah and other women like Hannah. So, and of course, I forget the name of the lady, but Hannah, they're with the other lady that Breast Cancer Now are working with, who's living proof that across the border in Scotland, if she could receive this drug, her life has not only been transformed, it's been prolonged. It's been. Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. The link is now in the video description. You're an absolute Trojan, and Michelle will join me in saying all of our thoughts, all of our hopes, all of our kind of good lucks, and all the rest of it are going with her. I don't know why I've got a positive feeling. I think even if you're in a sort of boardroom meeting scenario and you're these companies. You've got to be made of something pretty damn tough if you can't acquiesce in the face of a very rational and reasonable discussion, around which there'll be even more, really sort of, I guess, negative press too if they don't. So yes, it's an important day. So thanks for that, Nads. Sending all our love to Hannah. Morning, Carla Hatcham. All the love and luck to Hannah and family and all the other incredible, brave women. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you, guys. Lisa Child, Nadia, you're a great friend. How much strength you must give Hannah. Absolutely. Just fighting for Steph Schultz. Yes, fighting for anyone who may unfortunately need this. Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, and of course, everyone has their own personal connection with a story like this, and Nadia's and ours, if you like, is Hannah. But you're fighting through the lens of that personal, relatable, and sort of intimately presented case study, if you like. You're fighting, obviously, for everyone else. So it is Hannah and co, and everyone else too. So there we go. There's a little update, because I know you were all kind of very keen to kind of know what was going, and yeah. So there we go. So shifting our focus somewhat. Obviously, I want to talk about Gaza. I want to talk about the Eurovision Song Contest. I saw. I think was it Edward Bevington said, "What was that thing?" We'll talk about that Eurovision Song Contest, and then we'll talk about the Gaza aspect of that, and maybe spinning out of that, we can talk about the other stories around the Israel-Rafah crossing. We're going to talk about Kim Kardashian being booed and being roasted. Which of those two things should have Netflix maybe removed or not removed? And then we're going to talk about Donald Trump's stormy weather. Heather's in the sky, stormy weather. I wonder if she was standing behind a wall. I asked her to go and get a magazine. I like a rolled up magazine, and I like a little bit of whoppy woo wah. So we're going to talk about that too. And in fact, we're probably going to start with Donald Trump. So let's talk about Donald Trump. Any Donald Trump? Let's just ask. Hi, Natasha Tiramos. How are you, sweetheart? Any Donald Trump fans here? Come on. Throw your gauntlet on the table. Throw your rolled up magazine on the bed. I don't know. Get your old Spice out. Show us your leather man bag. Get in your boxes and sit on the end of the bed. I mean, obviously, the reason I'm using all of these details is Stormy Daniels went into somewhat lurid detail. I mean, I have to be brutally honest. Jenny J, I can't believe she did it with him. Well, there is that question. Man with power, man with boxer shorts. I don't know. I prefer him to Biden, good ship lollipop. Well, I mean, Biden hasn't showered himself in glory. Let's face it. And I mean, if there's one thing to be said for Trump is I think he knows the right way off a podium, whereas Biden does struggle with that. So yeah, there we go. Edward Bevington, Trump 2024. Absolutely not, says Elaine Flew. I think he can run a country financially, but he needs better people and social skills, says Lisa Kay, neurodivergent posse. I mean, one has to try and be the best thing you can do with any American president, because let's face it, they're all kind of, I find, I don't know, I mean, they're all batting for the same team, just with ever such slight differences. At the end of the day, the biggest common thing between all American presidents is America is the most important thing in the world. You look after ourselves first, and maybe we can smash the hell out of a little bit part of the world. Or what we do even better in America is we'll get someone else to smash another bit of the world for us, and then we'll support them. So yeah, I mean, and look, I can see lots of people could argue. I was of the opinion that perhaps Trump's tougher stance with China was perhaps a good thing, but when you're trying to look at what's good and what's bad, I suppose you then get drawn into kind of value systems that maybe you don't even believe in. It's like, okay, well, yes, making China not kind of take America as kind of, and then you think, oh, okay, I don't know. Neither good. Anyway, so Donald Trump was in court and he faced Stormy. There he is. Look at him there. Stormy weather. That woman on the left just behind him is agog with how he's managed to get that frisson of hairy activity going on his head. I mean, he looks, that's hair. She's looking at him thinking, I can't get my hair to do that, isn't she? And what a tie. What a nice big fat tie. Anyway, Stormy Daniels, she was testifying. This is obviously not her. This is, well, it is her, but it's the what do they call it? The courtroom artist's impression of her. But let's have oh, hang on, that's not her. I haven't got the other photo of her. Oh, that's annoying. Hang on, maybe. Oh no, I thought I had another photo. Well, there you go. That's the best you're going to get of Stormy. I think she's seen better days than that image there. But yes, he fell asleep. He's fallen asleep a lot in the courtroom. But yesterday, as she was describing about having sex with him, how she says he didn't use a condom. She said he liked being slapped on the bottom or being sort of whacked with a rolled up magazine. Now, these kind of details fascinate me. The condom is a bit too much. She says, and a lot of this speaks to that sort of, some people are trying to kind of use the narrative of why did you if you didn't. And of course, the trial is less about whether they actually had sex, though Trump denies it, but it's about whether he paid her hush money to shut up and not share the story. And if he did, and then sort of contorted that in his company or his empire's kind of financial system, if he contorted the details of that and then essentially was running for presidency, then it's electoral misdemeanor or electoral. He could face some prison time for this. But she went into a lot of detail, and the judge even said, "Good God, she's quite uncontrollable, isn't she?" But I think anyway. So Trump's lawyers were very forceful with her, to the point that even some commentators were saying that the jury didn't like how much Trump's lawyers were really sort of pushing her. Trump was swearing under his voice. It's sort of like, he wasn't saying, "Oh," he was like, "Fuck," he was doing all of that. But the big question of the day for me was, what was the rolled up magazine that he wanted to be thwacked with? New York Post? What was it? National Enquirer? New York Times? Doubt it. What else? The Washington, whatever. What is it? The Wall Street Journal? A good old thwack. Donald's sex life was not on my horizon today, says Anne-Marie Shellard. I don't think it was necessarily on even Stormy Daniels' horizon. But anyway, poor old Trump. There he was, sat there, having to be told. I thought we were going to get some kind of. They did ask, how long did it last? And she said it wasn't very long. I mean, this is going to aggravate him, isn't it? He doesn't it? Washington Post, thank you very much. I just want to know, he liked a good thwacking. She likes to give me a good thwacking on the butt. I like a good butt thwacking. Biden wouldn't know what hit him. I knew what hit me. It was the Washington Post on the buttocks. Really nice. What a nicely bottom. I've got such a nicely bottom. It's a goodly bottom. She hit me goodly. Anyway, there you go. So I don't know, and Donald Trump apparently has He's kind of bad-mouthed everyone in the court, I think 11 times now. He's been fined about £35,000. He's going to be dollars. He's been threatened with jail time. I personally think, I don't know if anyone else, I think he wants to be given some jail time. I think he wants the image of, well, basically this image with bars either side of his face, because I think that will actually work in his favor in this bizarre circumstance in America, where we now have a candidate for presidency that if he becomes imprisoned, this could be the greatest part of his campaign. And then, of course, when he's in prison, they'll have built a wall. They'll have walls all around him. There's a big wall. I can't get through the wall, but I can get through the bars. I'll run my campaign from here. It's wonderful. We don't need the Oval Office. We just need a little square, little kind of latrine. I just need a latrine in the corner. I just need a table, a desk, and a copy of the New York Post. I'm just going to sit here in my prison cell with a spoon, and I'm going to run the country. He's going to run the country from his prison cell. Anyway, yeah, so old Donald Trump, that's rolling along over there. He's been told also he's got to do another 2 weeks, which I don't want to kind of badmouth anyone with ADHD. I have it. We all have it. Everyone has it. And he definitely has it. So imagine him having to sit in that court still. Having to sit still. I mean, he's a very fidgety boy, isn't he? You can imagine what kind of a toddler he is. He's still the same sort of toddler. I mean, I wonder when he was a toddler. I wonder when Donald Trump was a toddler and he was like, I mean, and he played with his friends. I wonder if there were sort of signs of this. I wonder if he had that sort of, that demeanor. Give me back my Fisher-Price. I want to play with it now. That's my Fisher-Price. Leave it. You're fired. Get out of the cot. You're fired. Anyway, so let's talk about Kim Kardashian because it's silly, and let's just do it. So Netflix has allegedly, or apparently, has anyone seen this? I haven't had a chance to see it. I don't understand this. There's a big roasting, a huge roasting show. Tom Brady. I don't even. Tom Brady. Who the fuck is Tom Brady? Can someone tell me? He's big. Is he as a sportsman? Why does he? What I want to know from our American followers here. Why has Tom Brady got an entire Netflix show dedicated to a live roasting of him? Why? Is he that big? I mean, is he bigger than what? How big can you get? I've blurred the picture behind me. No, it's not rude. It's boring. Let me just in the spirit of utter transparency. I just want to show you what the background looks like without it. It's just horrible. It's just boring. So I just thought that brought in. This brings in a certain amount of mysterious. He was married to Thingy, Britney, Super Bowl, famous quarterback. I know he's a famous. Look, there've been lots of famous quarterbacks, but none of them. Oh, is he? Javi. Sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly. Javi Sanchez. He's the Mike. Thank you. I mean, I'm not into American football in terms of the stars. I like watching it every now and then for Super Bowl. But he's that big. Okay, so Netflix have done a live show. I was genuinely wanted to know. I just don't. I was like, who the fuck is he? What, Well, so Kim Kardashian was at the Tom Brady live Netflix comedy roast on Sunday, and she got booed. But in the upload, they've removed the booing. What's going on there, guys? Why would they do that? Do you think she phoned them up and said, get rid of the booing? Because I think she's actually, am I right in thinking she's an exec producer on a new show that Netflix have just greenlit? I think Netflix are getting into bed with her, not literally, because obviously she'd probably publish a tape and then it would just be really compromising and Netflix would it'd just be awful. I'm not interested in him or the Kardashians. Oh, Vic, not to apologise. I feel very sort of judged now. Just enjoy our blurred out background bit just for a while. So she got booed, but they edited it out. But the part of the story that I was drawn to was sort of scrolling down the way. She was there. Someone was saying, have you been dating him? There's a rumour that she was dating him for a while. Speaking of me and dating. Anyway, someone invited, so Tony Hinchcliffe. This is a controversial moment. That Netflix kept in. So they removed the booing for Kim, but they kept in this joke by Tony Hinchcliffe where he was talking about the whale's vagina line from Anchorman, the legend of Ron Burgundy. And when he mentioned the whale's vagina line, he said, a whale's vagina, which reminds me, Kim Kardashian's here. She's had a lot, and I'm quoting, I'm not saying this, she's had a lot of black men celebrating her end zone. Kim, word of advice, close your legs, he said. You have more public beef than Kendrick and Drake. I think, now look, a roasting is about, so is that, okay, before I say what I actually think, is that permissible in a roasting? Is that funny? Is that funny? Her what? Yeah, her what? Whale vagina. What? I don't think they were saying she had a whale vagina. Oh, I certainly wasn't saying that when we did our How to Stay Married recently, contrary to what Nadia thinks. I did say something under my breath, which was a bit revealing, but it wasn't about her. It's rude, but then a roasting is meant to be rude. It's a bit gross, says Keely Wendell. Says Laura S. I've got to pop that up. That's funny, totally. And just wanted to say a big thank you to whoever gifted me a couple of months membership. Honest to God, thank you. That's all right, Caris. Absolute pleasure. Not funny, says Keely. Tracy, what? Ooh, yes, Finny and funny and true. Shots outside Drake's house yesterday. It's building up. Now, yes, indirectly, this story leads to, does anyone know about the Drake-Kendrick, is it Kendrick Lamar? My girls were explaining this to me yesterday. I mean, it's not going to end well. This is becoming an increasingly vicious sort of fight through the medium of rap and music. Hannah Lieb shoots. I don't like roastings outside of RuPaul's Drag Race. I feel like the show gets the line between funny and offensive. It's like banter with steroids, isn't it? It's like banter on steroids, diss tracks. Sorry, I'm bouncing around two different stories here. Sorry. So yeah, I don't know. I thought the jokes. I think what might have happened here was I think Kim will have got on the blower and said, "Can you remove the booing?" And they said no. And then she said, "Well, okay, I want you to remove the really misogynistic joke." And they'd be like, "Oh no," and she'll go, "Okay, here's the deal. You can keep the misogynistic joke." But the trade-off is you remove the booing. That's it. I reckon that phone conversation happened. I think that's how it happened. I don't think she made it. I think someone else did. But yeah, I think that's what happened. So anyway, Joe French, so boring. Oh, sweetie, what? Kim Kardashian. It's a bit of fun. Accusations from Kendrick mainly. Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. Trump was also roasted a few years back. It's a kind of weird thing, isn't it? To be roasted. I mean, I suppose, I don't know. I think roasting is supposed to be, it is supposed to be funny, says Claire Prendergrass. But the whole point of a roasting is that it hurts, it burns like a roasted chicken. What they do, and the analogy is a good one, because what the analogy is, and I'm sorry if this is still boring you, Joe French, but the analogy is such that they put you on a spit and they rotate. So you're like, is that rotisserie chicken? So they rotate you. So you're roasted. But I like it. Normalizing verbal assault, says Edward Bevington. Yeah. Kendrick is a Pulitzer Prize winner. He is also going to win. What is that? Kendrick? What, the singer? Is he? Anyway, yeah. So I spun off into probably what's becoming one of the biggest music beefs in history. Is there some allegation or suggestion that Drake was in some way involved with the XXX Kardashian thing? Heather Draper, Ricky Gervais was the best at roasting. I think roasting works. That's a good point. Thanks, Heather. I think roasting works really well at something like, the Golden Globes. I think the reason I always liked Ricky roasting, Ricky doing a roasting, is that you felt that everyone he was roasting was they were so in the sort of heavens of success with all the trappings and trimmings of luxury that they could take it. But I think the danger with it is that everyone has mental health and everyone can feel, under assault. But I suppose don't go. If you know you're going to be roasted, don't go. Lowest form of wit, says Alice Cooper, is when just insulting people or targeting vulnerability. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Wasn't it Mickey Rooney who started roasts? Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you can roast, you've got to be able to take the roast. I've just noticed Edward Bevington. Is that old, what's his face, from Escape from New York? Or oh God, what's his fucking name? I can't remember his name. The actor. Oh, he's great. I loved him. Wasn't he in The Thing as well? A good old British roast on the celeb Americans. They don't always get it. Laura S. Yeah, I sometimes worry though with roasting that if you are a keen, avid, professional roaster, you lack any human warmth. Sometimes you get that thing where you think, oh yeah, you've got a wicked sense of humor, but then you kind of want to reach out to that person for a little bit of kind of human warmth, but they don't have it. You're like, oh, maybe you're just vicious. Oh, it's like my mum loves a good bit of, me and my mum like to roast each other a bit. It's bants, isn't it, mum? Mum, it's bants because of generational trauma, isn't it? It's our way of dealing with it, mum, isn't it? Me and you, mum. Mind you, my mum probably can't see this because she's probably looking from the floor because she's tripped over her 100 of the best artworks in the world book. Joe French, no. God, you're a woman, I believe, of very few words. Bored, no. Okay. I'm pleased you're engaging. Okay, so what did we say? Hannah update, yeah, Gaza. Eurovision Gaza drama. Okay, Eurovision. What the fuck is this thing? I hated it when I was a child. I hated it when I was a teenager. And now I feel, just let me have my moment before you can all chime in, because I know I'm the killjoy. And now I feel like I'm somehow lacking a sort of kitsch sense of light-hearted, don't take it too seriously fun, if I can't get on board with it. I feel Eurovision was designed to aggravate certain people, and it aggravates me successfully. I think it's naff. I think the music's naff. I don't understand why people, but it seems to be getting louder and bigger and more significant. Now, of course, this is all separate to the whole geopolitical drama surrounding Eurovision. Laura S, here we go. It's crap, but I love the political mess of it. I love shouting at the TV. Sorry, I have to put the wrong one. There you go. Aaron Bullimore, don't bring it up. You'll trigger Edward's latest trauma. You were caught within it, were you, last night? I think I'm a bit on the spectrum. I think as a child, there were two aspects of it there's two aspects of it that have stuck with me a little bit. I find the scoring hysterical, especially, I don't know where I saw it somewhere, but apparently, there's a documentary out at the cinema at the moment called Amazing Machines or something like that. It's a really average film. And it could have been brilliant, but it wasn't. Fantastic machine. It's about the selfie and filming ourselves and all that sort of stuff. Brilliant trailer, shit film. It's a total coke fest. What do you mean, as in nose bagging? Really? Is it? Is it suddenly I'm now interested? I wish I'd known this in my active years. Good ship lollipop. My God, I'd have maybe headed along to the Eurovision. Oh, well, is it just a place? Maybe it's just a place to take drugs and have sex. What not to like about the Eurovision? Two things. I found the scoring ridiculous, and then especially in this documentary, they showed that each voter, each country, they're all in one fucking green screen room, a bit like this one with the blurred, though this is blurred because it's boring. And they give their score and they move out, and then they put an image of Budapest and they give their score and they move out, and they put an image of Berlin, and then bizarrely, because it's Eurovision, European, they then put up Tel Aviv, and then they put up Sydney. So this idea, I always thought, wow. When I was a kid, I thought, wow, people can phone from all over the world. This is amazing. I can't even get a phone call from, I don't know, my girlfriend on a Sunday evening at 6:30 when I'm down at my nan's. I was always at my nan's when Eurovision was on. Alice Cooper, you're right. They're actually, good ship lollipop. You've opened a can of worms here. This is a Pandora's box. Maybe everyone involved with Eurovision is so into Eurovision because they've taken so many mind-altering drugs, mushrooms, acid, akakalewa. What's that one called? Ayanaka, or whatever it's called. They're all off their tits. Everyone's mad for it. Anyway, so I was always fascinated by the so-called internationality of it. Then DP, absolutely, the scoring was based on nothing. So for a few years, we hate the UK or England. Is it England or are we Britain? So we get nothing. What? And then I'll tell you, here's the other question I want to ask. Who votes? Where do they get their scores from? So when they get a score, is it the public? And then why are countries that are not in Europe in Europe? Anyway, the part of it that I did enjoy was Terry Wogan's dulcet tones when I was younger. I thought, well, he's nice. And he's funny. He was always taking the piss out of it. And Graham Norton, a couple of times I called it, he was taking the points, taking the nil point. He was taking the piss out of it too. But I tell you what my worry with it is now is, it's beginning to take itself a little bit too seriously. It thinks it's the big I am, and it's not. Keep it marginal. Stephanie draws us into the political aspect, which I want to step towards. If Israel haven't been banned, I'm not interested. Shame, as I like Ollie. I've got this secret dream or hope that Ollie is going to get on stage and he's going to unfurl a free Palestine flag and then probably and then be called Hamas. That's what's going to happen. It's not. I mean, Ollie, he made a stand and then he didn't make a stand and then he kind of said, "Oh no, I think it's better to kind of." Can I just say this? Those who've been following the channel for years will know that my right armpit perspires profusely when I'm embarrassed. I call it right armpit when I cringe. If I hear someone saying, but the Eurovision Song Contest is all about the unifying power of music, please pull the other one. Because it's a stretch to call a lot of it music. It really is. It's a real stretch. For me, the Eurovision Song Contest is a place where you're reminded of, does anyone remember this? I think the first time one went to Europe, and you ever sort of stayed in a hotel, maybe it was Italy or France or Spain or somewhere, and you turn on the local TV because it was like exotic. You're like, oh, what am I going to get? I'm in a different country. Let's put on the television. This is way before mobile phones. So just put on the and you put on the television, and there was invariably an incredibly plastic-looking man with creosoted hair screaming into a strangely shaped microphone in a garishly lit studio with people dressed as dinosaurs and creatures, and you'd go, oh, I thought Europe was a cultural hotbed of thought and existential angst and nuance. And no, it's Eurotrash, absolutely. Eurotrash was great because it was a bit saucy. Anyway, so what was the story today? So Eurovision regret as Swedish pop star Eric Sardi, who is of Palestinian origin, donned a keffiyeh on his wrist, the Palestinian scarf, and wore, as I understand it, or apparently had watermelon earrings or something. And so I think this is interesting because Eurovision have apologized for this. Should they have apologized for him wearing a keffiyeh, the sort of black and white scarf around his wrist, politicizing the event? Isn't the event inherently politicized by the very fact that Israel are performing? Isn't it? Yeah. Good for him. Yeah, well, Eurovision have apologized, which makes me think I'm not going to watch you. Because quite rightly, if you had if the Israeli contributor had anything about them that denoted their Jewishness, no one would criticize that, would they? Or if they did, they'd be pulled up and called out, quite rightly. So I don't understand. I don't understand why he's not allowed to do that. Yeah, Eurovision, Edward Bevington, I think someone said a few years ago that a few billion changed hands behind. Billions? The Eurovision? Isn't it? I mean, seriously, check out this movie that's in the cinemas. I wish I could remember. Fantastic, Astonishing Machines. I can't remember what it's called. All these fucking judges, they're all in a fucking broom cupboard being rotated in front of a camera. There's no production value. Billions? What, like UEFA? Anyway. All right, well, there you go. Stuck it into the Eurovision. Have a good day, guys. Lots of love. Something else will be landing. If you didn't, check out mine and Nadia's Donut Gate Take 2 last night. It was fun. So have a lovely day, and we will see you on